Hello, today we're going to go over multiplying larger numbers, and we get started with somewhat of a simple one. So let's say that you have 125 and you're trying to multiply it by 15. So this is how we started. First we start by multiplying this 5 by this other 5. So we get 25, and we write down the 5 and we carry the 2. So again, we multiply 5 by 5 and we get 25, and we write down, or we leave the 5 and we carry the 2. Now we have 5 times 2, which is 10, and we actually have a 2, so it's 10 plus 2, which is 12. And again, we leave the 2 and we carry the 1. Now we have 5 times 1 plus 1, which is 6. So 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. Okay, so we are done with this first digit. Now we continue to the other digit. And we fill in an empty space with a 0. And we start on this place. So because we are right here, it needs to be lined up with this digit. So we get 1 times 5, and that equals 5. So we put down the 5. And let's erase these right now so we don't get confused. So now we have 1 times 2, which is 2. We continue to the next one. 1 times 1 is 1. And now we set our sum, or we actually add it. So 5 plus 0 is 5. And 2 plus 5 is 7. And 6 plus 2 is 8. And 0 plus 1 is 1. So we get 1,875. And you can always check with your calculator. 125 times 15, which is 1,875. Okay, so that's the first example. Let's try a little bit harder one. So we can actually, let's say we start with 2,535 times 125. So these are a little bit bigger, so it's going to take a little bit longer. So 5 times 5 is 25. Again, like before, we carry the 2. So 5 times 3 is 15, plus 2, it's 17, and we carry the 1. 5 times 5 is 25, plus 1 is 26, so we carry the 2. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. So we're done with our first one, our first digit. Now we continue, and again we fill the space, the empty space, with a 0, and we start on the other digit, or the other digit's place. 2 times 5, oh wait, let's erase these so we don't get confused. And that's why it's good to use a whiteboard, especially when you're practicing. Like that, you don't get confused. Okay, so we're on the 2. 2 times 5 is 10. You leave the 0 and you carry the 1. So 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So now 2 times 5 is 10, and then you carry the 1. 2 times 4 is 4, plus 1 is 5. Okay, because this is 3-digit, so we move to this side, or this digit, and we have to fill in the blank spaces with 0. So now we have 1 times 5, Okay, let's erase these actually, so we don't get confused again. So 1 times 5 is 5, and 1 times 3 is 3, and 1 times 5 is 5, and 1 times 2 is 2. And we set up our addition equation or our sum. So now we're going to add these up. 5 plus 0 plus 0 is 5. 7 plus 0 plus 0 is 7. 6 plus 7 is 13. Plus 5, it's let's see, 18. So you carry the 1, and now you have 3 plus 0 plus 2, that's 5, plus 1 is 6. Now you get 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 1, it's 11. And again you carry the 1. So 2 plus 1 is 3. So we get 3,006 or 31,006, never mind, 360,875. Again, let's check our problem. Let's see if we got it right. 2535 times 125. 3168.75. So that's correct. That's again is 16,875. So that's pretty much how you do multiplying or multiplication of larger numbers. And one quick tip, if you just want to practice setting this part up, what you can do is use your calculator. For example, let's say you're doing the first row, or if you want to check, when you're going through the steps, you can do this. You can say, I want to multiply 2535 by 5. Oops. Multiply it by 5. And you get the first row. So you write it down. And let's say you want to check the second digit, 2535 times 2. Just go 2535 times 2. And then you get this other row, 5070. And again, the empty space was filled with a 0. And then let's say if you want to check this third digit, 2535 times 1. It's actually pretty obvious if you are okay with multiplication, so it's actually itself. So remember, this is the third digit, so it starts here. So these are actually filled with zeros. They're empty spaces. So now you have 2535. There you go. And that's how you practice if you don't want to think about it too much, or let's say you have problems with your multiplication tables, but you still want to practice how to multiply larger numbers, basically how to set up this part. And that's pretty much it. And hopefully that helps for those of you that are having problems with multiplying larger numbers. Just remember that you have to line them up, because if you don't line them up, sometimes when you're going fast you might actually add the wrong number, or let's say if you carried the wrong number too, you might actually end up with the wrong answer even though you did the multiplication part right. So be careful with that. And again, thank you. That's pretty much it. And dislike, comment, subscribe, and have a good day.